This is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections, and I'm in West Hills doing a home inspection today, Tuesday, September 23rd, 2013, and I'm ready to do the roof and from the 1955 house, and everything's freshly painted, but you can see here in the gutters you got a lot of buildup and debris and rust in the gutters, and some of the nails are starting to come loose in the gutters as well. And there's some damaged gutters on all four sides of the house. Now the roofing materials are composition shingles, and you can see the base materials showing in some areas here on the front of the house. Typically on the south side and west side of the house, and the West Valley takes the brunt of the sun, and we see more damaged areas in that area there. So we'll climb the roof and take a walkabout and see what you have. Well, I finally made it on the roof safely, and you can see the surface material inside the shingles. The rocks are just coming right off. So just seeing this, your roof system is considered to have zero life left. Now when I go to the top of the roof here, they've replaced the ridge cap recently, so all those are new. But if you look at the south side, south exposure, you can see the rocks based material. So that's the roof again doesn't have any life left. Now, on the very back of the house, this chimney's been rebuilt. Most likely it had a brick chimney, and it collapsed during the '94 earthquake. And so there's a question today if the framing of the chimney is wood or if it's steel. So if it's wood, there's a chance it could catch on fire, and you want to check your building permits when it was permitted and finalized, and also get a chimney inspector out here to evaluate the system. You can see the base material on the roof. Shingles back here, rock is completely gone, so roof is shot. Needs to be replaced. Now around the chimney, it's got a newer roof. So this, so for aging, we know the original composition roofs were damaged with the chimney coming down. So typically they replace these chimneys in 1995, 1996, and 7. So that's a good way to age a roof. So it's at least probably about 18 to 20 years old. Over the patio, they have a flat 90 weight pound cap sheet, and this has been repaired in some sections. The lower section it has cracking in it, and then the middle section's got cracking, and the top section may have been replaced at one time. But this material here is not holding up either, so due to the cracks, that needs to be replaced as well. So I think the transfer disclosure statement said it was repaired. They may have added or coated it with a white coating, but the material itself hasn't been replaced. You got these roof vents, and the house has been rat-proof. They have screens over them. You have a whirly bird ventilator, and over here you have your range top vent hood, still present but not connected, and your masthead and power lines coming into the house. And you can see the rust and build up in the gutters in the back here. There is a wire from the house to the garage. It's under 10 foot. It's the wrong type of wire. And then the service cable from the power line goes through the roof of the, or goes through the tree. you want to cut back on the tree limbs there. So I'll take the ladder around and set it up on the roof of the garage and see what that roof looks like. Again, this is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections, and I can be reached at www.ehomeinspector.com or 818-271-0417. Cindy, this is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections. Today is September 24th, and I'm doing a house for you in Lake Balboa. We're going to do the roof inspection. It's an older house built in 1950, and on the rear part of the house they've added some areas here, and you can see that there's exposed nails to the roofing. They didn't use tar to hold it down. And so we call this chicken coop standards. So it needs to be replaced with tar down 90 weight cap sheet. And the roofing material over the rest of the house is a composition shingle. And your roofing roof over your garage is composition shingle, and there's a sway deflection in the roof in the garage. So you got your power lines, we call them service cables. They're too low off the ground. There's a satellite dish that's bolted on top of the house, so the bolts, water can come through the bolts. The aging of the roof, for the age of the roof, it's probably about 12 or so years. You can see the rocks deteriorate on here, and then also the base materials evident there. The flashing, there's no flashing at the pipe penetrations. Typically we like to see a metal flashing on the bottom side here, and like you have up here on this whirlybird. And we're getting to the top of the roof. A little bit more pitch than I thought. And the very top bridge cap looks like they replaced this, and they have a newer high efficiency furnace. I can see it by this PVC pipe. And then we're going to go over to the other side of the house. You got tree limbs hanging over the roof, and down on the chimney there's no rain cap, there's cracks in it. And I'm going to bring the camera around to the pool. The pool, there's no perimeter fence around the pool. It's an older pool, deteriorated plaster, flat rain cover, pool light does not work. A couple of things wrong with the pool. Again, this is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections, and I can be reached at www.ehomeinspector.com or by phone 818-271-0417. Hi, this is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspection, and I wanted to go over the main panel here. It's made by a company called Federal Pacific. You got it here, Federal Pacific Electric, FPE, stab lock, and they're a notorious type of panels. About 80% of the panels in the valley in the 50s and 60s and 70s were either Federal Pacific or another brand called Zinsco, and over the years they've both now become problematic. The way the breakers fit on the power grid, there's three little fingers, and they loosen up over time, and they start, you don't get a good connection. Your breakers could overheat, one of the indications, and you notice here there's no labeling, or there's missing a cover here, and this is only a 70 amp panel. So the day when I got here, when I opened up the shed here, I could feel the heat come off this off the panel, and I matched it with the cover on the timer here, and you see you get a 93, and here you're getting on top here, getting, a minute ago we had 113, so it's 20-25 degrees difference. So as we go down the breakers, some of these breakers are running hot, and some of them are not as hot as the other ones. So you got some problems with some of your breakers by heat dissipation. And this earlier I got the higher. Yeah, I got 108 here. So you're getting from 10 degrees difference. So anyway, this is a Federal Pacific. It's an older panel, and I always recommend you remove them and replace them due to their age, and go to the website Federal Pacific. You can go to Google search, and you'll see a lot of information about these defective panels. Again, this is Greg Noyes. This house is in Lake Balboa, 1950 house, and there you go. Same house in Lake Balboa, formerly known as Van Nuys. You can see the plaster of the pool is deteriorating, and the pool guy had me fill the pool today, so it's either evaporation or it could be a pool leak. And when we're looking at it earlier, you could see cracks inside the pool, and they're going down the throat of the pool, and there's some horizontal ones go across. There is a pool light here, and it is protected by a GFI, and the GFI had to be reset twice this afternoon, so there might be a problem with that. And then the flat screen, flat bottom drain cover, and we'd like to see a raised one today. It's an older pool. Typically you have to replaster every 10 years or so, and this has gone way over. So one of the things I recommend is they do a bucket test. Go down to Home Depot and stick a 5-gallon paint bucket. They cost $2.93 on the top step here, and then you fill the water in the pool even with the fill the bucket even with the water in the pool. You wait 24 hours and you see if the pool's going down faster than the bucket. If it is, then you have a pool leak. If it's the same rate, then it's just evaporation. Again, this is Greg Noyes, Pacific West Home Inspections, and I can be reached at 818-362-5578.